Hey guys, what's going on? So I wanted to answer a question that I got over on YouTube this morning. Just as a side note, there is a YouTube channel for all of this, and there's like 60,000 of you guys over here, and there's 735 over there. So if you guys didn't know, we do have a YouTube channel as well. I do upload to TikTok first, just because TikTok has more followers and there's more of you guys over here. But I would like to do some longer form videos, things that are a little bit longer than 10 minutes, especially when it comes to trainings and signals and all those other things. And I'd also like to be able to flip this camera to the other direction so that everything isn't in this view. So yeah, if you guys are interested, go ahead and head over there, subscribe, click the notification bell so you get updates when they go through. In the future, I will be making specific content that goes directly to YouTube, and some of it that stays here on TikTok, because short form and long form are two different wonderful training tools. So that being said, question I got this morning was appropriate work boots. There isn't a ton of information out there on exactly what you need. You can kind of find bits and pieces here and there. But the railroad actually does, or at least NS does, they actually send you a photo when you get your information from Ryan Foster for training. The email is going to come out to you, and it'll have a ton of information, and most people are still reading through the fact that you can't wear shorts, the fact that you can't have sleeveless shirts, the jewelry issues, and all that stuff, and they never make it to the bottom of the email. The bottom of that email actually has a photo of appropriate work boots and what needs to be involved with those. So to give you that information, they have to have a 6-inch rise, so they have to be at least 6 inches tall to cover your ankle, so you have that support. That support keeps you from rolling your ankle when you're walking on ballast, for when you slip on things when it's wet, that kind of thing. So it has to be at least 6 inches tall. There has to be a 90-degree heel on the bottom of the boot. The 90-degree heel, and actually I did a video on this probably January-ish. If somebody asked me what you should take with you to training, my boots are actually in it, and I kind of go over some of this, so if you want to go back to that, you can. But just for the purpose of answering this question, you now have to have a 90-degree heel, so that when you're stepping onto a sill step, or when you're stepping onto the brake platform on the back to set a handbrake, you want to be able to have your foot lock into that brake platform, so it has to be a 90-degree heel. So no flat soles. The sole itself has to be non-leather, and it has to be in good condition. The more worn it is, the less slip resistant it is. The boot itself should be made of leather, or at least a leather-like material. Waterproof is going to be your best friend. You can do it without it, or you can do water resistant if you'd like. I would not suggest it. Waterproof, the second your feet get wet or cold, it's going to be miserable. So waterproof. In addition to that, the boots have to be lace up. You can't have any slip-ons, Velcro, cowboy boots, none of that stuff. It has to be lace up. Some of the most popular brands are going to be Danner, Red Wings, Timberland Pro Series, Wolverines. And there's a ton of different brands that you can choose from, but just make sure that you meet those specs. It has to be at least 6 inches tall, have a 90-degree heel. It has to have a good sole on it, slip resistant if you can find it. Make sure that it's made of leather and waterproof, and make sure that they're lace up. The email, like I said, when you get it, most people skip that bottom section and they don't see that. This is the photo that's at the bottom of that email. Let me flip you around here. So here's the photo that'll come in. This is of the Timberland Pro Series. This is just their regular standard leather work boot. A lot of people use these. They get filthy if you get this color specifically. So I'd suggest a dark brown. And something that's a little bit more sturdy than something like this. The anti-fatigue soles are really nice. The other thing too is anytime you buy work boots, it doesn't matter how good the boot is if the insole sucks. So please get yourself some Dr. Scholl's insoles, something like that, so that you can have a little bit of comfort and get those changed out every so often. You can buy those insoles from like a drugstore, or Walgreens, or Rite Aid, whatever, and then put those in there. I use the ones for plantar fasciitis just because they're the most comfortable. So this is the one that'll come in there. Let me show you a couple of different options on the boot. This is a Danner with a 13-inch rise. I'm sorry, an 8-inch rise. Again, it does have that 90-degree heel. It's going to be made out of leather. This is a very popular one as far as a selection for people. This is, let me move on to one more. This is the boot that I use. This is the Timberland Pro Anti-Fatigue. These are jigsaws with a 6-inch rise. I like these a lot. The only thing with this is these are steel toe, and steel toes are not required, just so you guys know. You do not have to have steel toes. So let me go ahead and move into So that side profile, so you can see that 90-degree heel, 6-inch rise, lace up, leather and waterproof. And then the bottoms are also slip resistant. So that being said, steel toes are not required. It's actually, let me flip you back around. When it comes to the factor of a steel toe, even though it sounds like that would be a great idea, the reality is that if you drop something on your foot like a knuckle, or you happen to run into equipment that runs your foot over, you're going to lose those toes. I mean, it just is what it is. That's actually a direct quote from one of the trainers, was that you are the softest thing out there. And if you end up having something run over your toes on the yard, you're going to lose them anyway, so you might as well be comfortable. I wish I was kidding. That was the exact quote. So the other thing, too, is that the steel toes actually get colder in the wintertime. They freeze, and then your feet end up cold. So it's not necessary, so just make sure you're comfortable. But yeah, that's it. Hopefully that answers your question. I will continue to go through these and answer them as soon as I possibly can. Sometimes I have stretches in between, and obviously I've got to answer these in between work. So, but if you have any other questions, comments down below. And just as a reminder, if you're not over on YouTube subscribed, it's the same name, The Extra Board. There's also a Facebook group, those kind of things. But if you have any other questions, comments down below, get to them as soon as I can. See you guys soon.